Good day, mates.
Starting off hot.
This is Critical Mess. It's episode 33. It's the podcast where three hombres in the ad business talk about movies the critics and audiences don't agree on. I'm Nick Honeywell. I'm here with Gris Griswold and Brian McCullough. Producer Ben is here. Say what's up, boys.
What's up, gang?
Hey, it's Brian McCullough. Guys, I wouldn't want to be doing this podcast with anyone but you.
That was sweet.
Yeah.
I'm holding his hand right now.
You guys.
You guys aren't naked?
Why are your hands so cold?
Pants are optional here.
All right, let's break the ice. So we got kind of interesting icebreaker tonight. So here it comes. What's your favorite prop from a movie? Your favorite, inanimate object. It could be a car or a screwdriver. It could be a roller coaster. Whatever you think is just a cool, kind of iconic, awesome movie prop. Anything. Let me have it.
A roller coaster can be a prop?
Yeah. I mean, any inanimate object that's part of the film
Large or
qualifies for this question.
Smaller or bigger than a bread box?
Do you have one, Gris?
I do. I want to hear yours first, though.
Well, I don't have one yet. I'm deciding between three.
All right. Well, I'll go into this quick story. I interned at the Children's Museum downtown Indy and had the opportunity to see the archives, which is the same size as the museum, but underground. So it is one of the largest collections of items, and they recycle things all the time. So there's like the world's largest collection of Barbie toys was under there, donated by a couple that collected it over the years.
And real quick, Gris, for reference, right? I think, don't we have the biggest children's museum in the world?
In the world, yes.
Yeah. So this is a serious museum.
So the actual, the collection down there is in a basement with, all those sci-fi movies like Tenet sci-fi, or science fiction or whatever you want to call it. So when all the air gets sucked out of the room at a museum, and they have that technology in that to protect any artifacts in the basement. But one of them was the golden idol from Indiana Jones, the first.
Ooh, yeah.
So I got to hold that and see it as it was just sitting randomly on a shelf with a little tag that said it was just coming through town for one of the movies or releases or something like that. So that was pretty cool just to be walking around the basement of that place and then just see it sitting on the shelf there.
That's iconic.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
What you got, Brian?
I think I got to go with... I was going to say the Grail from Last Crusade, but I can't. I got to go somewhere else because we can't have two from the Indiana Jones universe. It's got to be something from Back to the Future. And while I really want it to be the DeLorean time machine, I mean, yeah, that's the answer. But honestly, the one that I have the biggest kind of connection to as far as memory and it being just such a neat, iconic piece of memorabilia is Gray's Sports Almanac from Back to the Future. I just loved that thing. I loved how it was used in the movie. I'd love to have that thing just sitting up on my shelf. And the funny thing is, I could probably very easily go online and just buy.
You can, because I
replica
almost did a couple years ago.
So that seems like a really lame answer, but as far as meaningfulness, to me, that's really high on the list.
I'm surprised you didn't say a hoverboard.
Nah, yeah, that would be pretty cool though. Yeah. Actually, honestly, next to the pinball machine,
if it actually
up on the wall.
worked too.
Well, okay. Wait.
Fictional
if
powers
these could
plus.
be like fictional things, I'm going lightsaber. I mean, come on,
Yeah, that would be dope.
So,
Sure. All right. Well, there are some very iconic ones, right? You've got the suitcase in Pulp Fiction, right? You've got Rosebud. You've got some really iconic ones. But I think I have to go with probably Nasty Nate's Inmate of the Month prison calendar.
how many times is this going to be brought? Because
we are still waiting to find a printed copy of that. We haven't found it yet. I'd say a close second. I really love, John McClane's bottle of aspirin, right? I feel like...
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
That's right.
That's right. New sound effect, guys.
Yeah.
That's right. So we're going to be talking about Die Hard a lot more on this podcast, guys. So anyway, yes, but I love, how, especially in Die Hard 3, Simon tosses the bottle of aspirin to John McClane and tells him he's lucky he's got some extra ones, and it's the kind of the crucial key that leads to his location and downfall. So anyways, I just think that's a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're not talking about Die Hard tonight, unfortunately. We are going to talk about a different movie, and we're going to spoil this movie, and it's a pretty new movie. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to watch it. We always recommend that you watch the movie before you listen to the podcast. You'll follow along probably a little better, but, that's up to you. But tonight, we're going to talk about a film from just last year, the year of our Lord, 2023. That's right. It's pretty new, and it's called Anyone But You.
Hey, headed to the wedding?
Of my sister? Yes, I am.
So where's your fiance? Wait, is this him? Hey, I'm Ben. I was her hall pass on your break.
Wow, you are a child.
It's a pretty long flight. Do you want anything from the front of the boat?
I'm all good on creatine and smell thick insecurity.
Nothing small about me. What the?
That's the jerk Poopy got with when she was on her break from Jonathan.
I could never be with someone like him.
This girl's a disaster.
They're gonna ruin our wedding.
Sorry.
Hey!
How's it going, stranger?
What's going on over there?
They dated, she crushed his heart.
That man does not have a heart. No way.
Honey, look who's here.
Who is it?
My ex, Jonathan. My parents have been trying to get us back together.
He's like a son to us.
Maybe we should just tell everyone we're together.
What?
It would solve that problem for me, and you clearly want Margaret. She sees you with me. She wants what she can't have.
There's no way we can convince anyone we actually like each other.
You know, I still think about that night we spent together.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious. No matter how it ended, it was still pretty amazing. Convincing enough?
The budget. I don't know if y'all looked that up.
Yeah.
But cost about 26. Pulled down about 220 so far.
What?
Jesus
Fuck.
Christ.
So Lordy,
I thought that was
Lordy
a
May.
typo when I read that.
It's real.
they had to have
That's
added a
so much
zero,
money.
right? Yeah. Anyway, but good job, director Will Gluck. He did. He's done some stuff. He did the Stone Cold classics, Peter Rabbit 1 and 2.
Those are good.
They are
Yeah, I
good.
wasn't fucking joking.
Yeah. Good. No, I know. I was agreeing with you.
I was actually being sarcastic there.
Whoa, Nick. Whoa. I know you're mad at me for us watching this, but
I know. I'm coming off hot.
calm it down
Coming
a
off
bit.
hot. He also did About Last Night, Friends with Benefits. Who cares, really? This guy is, he made this movie. It also stars some other NPCs named Sydney Sweeny, Glen Powell. One of the guys' names is
Gata.
Gata.
Is that how you say that?
It's he's in Dave.
Gata. Okay.
Which
Gata.
great show.
Yeah. I don't understand how he gets away with playing himself
Every time.
in everything he's in.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, okay, you're in Dave, you're a rapper, you're a hype man, that's kind of who you are in real life, so you're playing yourself, and there's sort of some meta Jack Harlow stuff in there. But now we're in a completely fictional movie, and he still plays himself.
Yeah.
But he's not playing himself in real life. He just gets to
a
have the name Gata. Guys, I'm so confused by the
I'm
meta.
almost positive you have put more thought into that than anyone else in the universe.
How did no one think about that, though?
Yeah.
I don't. It is a good question.
Like, I can't just walk into a fictional movie, guys, I'm going to play Brian McCullough. Like, I'm just going to be me.
Gata is Gata.
Yeah, I don't get it.
The way it goes.
There's some weird meta in this movie.
Alexandra, Shipp, Darren Bennett, and so on and so forth. So, this movie was allegedly written by humans. Ilana Wolpert and our boy Will Gluck. He's got a credit here for the writing. So,
What the fuck?
yeah.
And Chat GPT.
And Chet GPT.
Not even 4, just 3.5.
So, quick refresher about our criteria here on the show. So, movies got to be fresh with audiences and rotten with critics, or vice versa, on Rotten Tomatoes, and the disparity's got to be 20% or so. So, on the old Rotten Tomatoes, Anyone But You is at kind of a staggering 53%. I'm a little surprised.
I'm shocked by so many things about this movie.
I am too, and we're gonna dig into that. Audiences 87% loved it.
Unbelievable.
So decent gapper. I'm puzzled.
And I'm not giving you the out of 10 average for the critics and audiences until we get to a special place.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, this is puzzling. But let's get into this. First exposure to the film, and how many times have we seen it?
Last week, I watched it the first time, and then I watched it again for a nice refresher a couple nights ago. So twice.
I stood in line opening night and watched it in the theater. Just kidding. No, I saw this whenever it came out on whatever streaming service it first dropped on. I don't remember. I really hope I didn't pay to rent this. I
hope not.
I really hope not. I think I kind of had this like optimistic heart, and I'm like, hey, yeah, romantic comedy. Let's check it out. It's got that chick from Euphoria, Glen Powell. What could go wrong? And everything went wrong. And watched it that time, and that's what put it on my radar to do a podcast about it. So then I watched it a second time, 10 minutes on Friday night, and then the rest of the movie the next day.
So, yeah. And Brian, I guess to be clear, I'm not sure. I should know this, but did the movie come out in theaters? Actually,
it did.
It did come out in theaters.
Yep.
Okay,
Big
Interesting.
promo cycle.
I guess
for
that
this
makes sense with that huge.
That box office is
rake,
not like Netflix or like streaming. That is box office, and that's
box office.
And actually, I think less than half of that's 90-some million of that's domestic, and the rest is international. Which
this just came out on Netflix maybe a month ago.
Yeah, and obviously, when especially when you're talking about international box office, they're not making. That's not all profit. A lot of that goes to cut to international cuts, depending on what country it comes from, and there's marketing materials and all that. But there was an analysis done. I don't remember the source, but this movie made just purely profit 10x the budget.
So anyone but you two is on the way.
Anyone but you
Yes,
two.
unfortunately,
On the
it
way.
is.
Man, that's wild.
And I'll be there for it.
That's wild. Me too. I will.
At this point, I'm all in.
We're all going to
I don't know
theaters.
what's happening.
I don't either. This is going to be fun. Okay. Oh wait, I saw it last night.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a what?
I was pointing at some weird meta with a William Shakespeare quote written on the side of a wall that wasn't actually on the wall, but was only for us. It wasn't diegetic. Anyway, we'll get into that. Anyway, you saw it once last night, Nick.
I sure did.
Apologize.
I sure did. So okay.
I sure did.
All right, guys. This is Critical Mess. We are sponsored. We've got a sponsor. We've got really our old faithful, the Old Elk. Is it blended straight bourbon tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The blended straight bourbon whiskey tonight. Just sounds good. It sounds good when you drink it. There's nothing. This whiskey can do no wrong. And in fact, we do use a word to describe this whiskey, and it's often, it's just a word. It's a word we love, and it's ambrosial. Right? Ambrosial. It's a great word. We also like to call Old Elk the Bruce Banner of Deers. We don't need to get into all that.
Listen to all of our old episodes.
Our many millions of listeners are very, very familiar with the narrative here. However, we have a new adjective tonight to describe Old Elk. And
that was a big deal.
I'm gonna lay it on you guys. I want to know what you think about it.
Okay.
Peerless.
Peerless.
Ooh, that's
Peerless.
tough because there is actually a whiskey called Peerless.
Fuck them.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah. No, I think Old Elk is truly peerless. It is without equal. It stands in an echelon.
Peerless.
It stands in an echelon of its own making.
Yeah. It's not like when you go to buy it, it's not on the top shelf or the middle shelf or the bottom
It just
shelf.
hovers
It's somewhere else.
in between.
You got to find it like in a special like end cap.
It's already in the cart when you walk in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Peerless. Okay. We'll bat Peerless around.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Ambrosial and peerless.
Ambrosial's hard to beat, but I'll take Peerless.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, they haven't paid us anything yet, so.
They're not peerless yet.
That's right. Okay. What are we doing now? We're gonna rate. We're gonna rate it. Rate this film, and I want you guys to go first.
Guys, can we just each just stare into each other's eyes and just say our number and just not give it any context?
No, because I'm too scared.
As the man of the audience, typically.
I'm way too scared.
Oh, Gris this whole time's been waiting to drop a 64 on us.
Higher.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
No. Good night.
I'm kidding.
Good night to be alive.
I'm joking. It's a 43, guys.
Oh, why'd you give
I
me
thought
43?
I thought that was high too.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Thought I was being generous there,
Damn.
but 43 on Gris here.
All right. Well, it was unrealistic. Had terrible dialogue. Had really weird meta. Like I said, terrible writing. Even worse acting. And even worse music. 28.
28.
That still seems high for you.
Well,
That seems real high for you.
Ben, I was in the single digits, and then
Yeah.
I thought, no, don't be hyperbolic, Brian. Don't be knee jerk. Give it, save that for the the truly horrendous.
When we finally do Madam Web one day.
And there were a couple things in the movie that I did like, and so I feel like a 28. I mean, guys, that's a I gave it a 1 star out of 5.
Yeah.
So that's a 20, 28. You know.
So I'm not gonna lie, guys. I had a really hard time. Right, I had the hardest time of any movie we've done. 33 movies.
I'd agree with you there.
I had the hardest time rating this one.
So were you just like going back and forth between like high, low, or what?
I went from a 1 to a 90.
Really?
And everywhere in between. I
love it.
On that sex scene, I went from a 1 to a 90.
And then I went right back down to a 2.
I thought you were going to say a 1 to a 9.
No. Guys, I landed at a 67.
Wow.
That's
I
good.
did.
Really?
I really
Amazing.
actually kind of enjoyed this movie.
Nick, you are such a good poker player.
I love it.
Yeah, and I'm excited to talk about it. Real excited.
I don't know what's real anymore.
You know what? I can respect that because I texted Ben earlier this week and I just had a really hard time knowing where the fuck to put this movie in my brain. I think the only word I was just flabbergasted by this film. I just had no idea what to think, where to rate it. And I think I just went more critical with it just because
I knew immediately.
it's too hard for me to not go back and rethink about this movie and just how terrible a lot of the things were. So
Okay. Well, hey,
be fun.
that's great. I love you guys' journeys.
What a great range.
Yeah.
yeah.
It kind of went by the script, though.
And since Ben's already told me his rating, so you might as well round us out.
I went with 50.
Straight 50.
Ooh.
Because it is I'm with you guys. It went from like,
Yeah.
I really love this part to I really hate this part to I really love this part. So I was like I'm waffling so much. I have to put it right in the middle.
Yeah. I was at a place of I hated everything about every scene, almost everything about the movie, but I could point to some things that I was like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. And that's what bumped it up. So there we go. Okay.
All right.
Wow. Well, we don't necessarily agree on this movie, and neither do critics and audiences. And I think we need to talk about why.
Let's do it. Let me get into the mic. Let's do it. Sorry, I was trying to document our scores here before I forgot. So I'll read some critic scores here. And guys, I really want to analyze. I'm more interested in analyzing the critical mess in this movie than a lot of movies that have come before. And that was before I heard our ratings, which all of our ratings shocked me. So I am so interested in like seriously interested in analyzing this and analyzing why audience loved it so much. You guys, the audience loved this movie more than most movies that have ever come out. Again, another spoiler to Brian's Corner. Critics were way higher than I expected as well. So yes, let's really analyze this. Let's get in there. And the consensus says slick direction and a pair of tremendously watchable stars make anyone but you a passably fizzy diversion, despite a less than scintillating story. Linda Holmes, NPR. I'm pretty vibes based. And I think the vibes in this movie are just super unpleasant and sour. I never liked either of these people.
Can that be your voice? Anytime you read NPR, can that be your voice?
I'm pretty... Yeah, I didn't even realize I was reading NPR, but now, yeah, especially after
It's
recent events with NPR, never mind. We don't need to go there. You guys didn't hear about that? So my question to the room, who did you like in this movie? Because she says, I did not like either of the two leads. Who did you guys like?
I loved Bo. I
Okay.
thought he was just the star for me.
Bo.
The dog?
God,
No, the Kalana Ben. Kalana Ben.
you guys don't remember Bo?
Oh, Bo. Well,
The
I'm
Australian?
Sure I
The
did.
Aussie surfer boyfriend?
Yeah,
you
the
love
hot
him.
Aussie.
Okay.
Yeah, the hot Aussie.
Did you love
With the
anybody?
hog boggin or whatever he called his penis
Yeah,
multiple times over.
He had a lot of names for
yeah,
it.
I
lot of
think that's a
names for it.
slow burn
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, we'll
you're
get to it
bringing
for
up.
sure.
Gris, did you like anyone in this movie?
It was so hot and cold. I think if I had to choose between one of the two main characters, I'd have to say Glen Powell because he had some pretty good timing with his comedy. And I think I would love to see him do some more comedy later. But it wasn't enough for me to be like, yeah, he stole the show here. But I think it was just Sydney Sweeny shit in the bed so bad.
Man, I know I say this a lot, you guys, but I just wish Ben was played by Ryan Gosling. Oh, I would have loved him. So, yeah, I thought he was okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good recast.
Caroline Seed, girl culture. For as effective as Sydney Sweeney's lethargic blankness is on Euphoria, it's not an especially great quality for a rom-com lead. Guys, is Sweeny just not a good actress, or is she just not cast correctly here? Or do you disagree with this?
I think she was poorly cast here.
Okay.
Big time.
You think she's a good actress, just not for this role?
I think she could be a good actress in very specific situations. I think she's got to be very careful with her next project. Obviously, she went Madam Web to this to, I mean,
who knows?
Those are two big hits to a big star
Nick?
name.
I don't think she's a natural talent, but I can live with her.
She's natural.
She's fine.
Okay.
She's fine.
I really had a problem with her as the lead role here. I don't think she could do anything to pull this movie together. I think having watched Euphoria, she's extremely well cast on Euphoria. She's a very, very side character. I mean, that's an ensemble show. There's 15 characters in that show, and she does great as a specific type of person, and she's well cast in that. And but yeah, she can't be the lead woman here. Sarah Stewart, Book and Film Globe, an airlight meringue. An airlight meringue.
Is there any other kind of meringue?
Did I mean to say airtight? No, airlight. An airlight meringue of a romantic comedy or an eye-rolling miss, depending on your feelings about the genre. Guys, how does this compare to other rom-coms?
I think it has a lot more edge than most rom-coms, and is one of the reasons I gave it as high of a score as I did.
Gris, I know before recording you said you're not real familiar with the structure of romantic comedies.
I'm not. The more you guys talked about it a little bit before the show, the more I understood it a little bit, but I'm just so unfamiliar with it. I wouldn't have caught on to that.
Do you fancy yourself a rom-com guy? Do you watch a lot of rom-coms?
I do not. But I know, a couple that in recent years that I'm like, oh, yeah.
You ever seen An Officer and a Gentleman, Gris?
Oh.
I have not.
What a...
Man.
Not a rom-com.
I've seen An Officer and I've seen a Gentleman.
It's not really a rom-com, I guess. Yeah, you're
there's
right.
no comedy in it, but it's stellar.
It is just a rom.
It's just a
comedy.
pure
Rom.
romance. One of the greatest ending scenes of a movie.
Anyway, I just watched it. That's why I just said it.
Oh, you just watched it?
And it was really good.
So good.
It was really good,
Richard
damn it.
Gere.
But you're right. Not really a comedy,
Great stuff.
but very rom.
He did a lot of physical acting in that movie. Sarah Michelle Fetters, moviefreak.com. This is our penultimate, guys. Okay. It's not going to go forever. The refreshingly adult Anyone But You is Much Ado About Something Special. Guys, what is adult about this movie? Other than, yes, there's cuss words in it, there's nudity in it. What is adult about this movie in pure essence?
The outrageously toxic relationship these people were building together. Mm-hmm. Do you think it was
You think that's adult?
I mean, that's pretty bad if you're getting teenagers to watch a rom-com or, 17, 18, 19
Well, I'm not saying it's for kids, but when I say like adult, like I'm talking about like theme, like mature thematic elements, like things that are not just like cheesy whatever.
Would you be a real pain in the ass to your sister's wedding and just completely ruin the day to be about yourself?
Well, no, but I personally, I don't really think that makes it adult content. So I don't know.
I mean,
To
psychologically, I think that's kind of
Okay.
deep.
Fair enough.
To me, that's the way you stated is the only way it was adult.
Okay.
In my opinion.
That's what I
I
thought.
mean, I
too.
agree with that.
All of it's pretty surface level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing adult themed that goes.
If I had to
deeper
dig
than that.
further, I think I could
I
find
agree.
some things, but at the base level, that's it.
I guess this is just the type of movie that 17-year-old Brian would seek out so fast. I would be like, oh, I got to watch this movie, and I was not an adult. Finally, Richard Roper, Chicago Sun-Times. The leads are borderline terrible people much of the time, and the chemistry between these two gorgeous actors gets a C+ at best. How was the chemistry between B and Ben?
I thought the chemistry in all of the relationships in this movie were just so bad. It was unbelievable how they couldn't have done worse, which was once again added a lot of entertainment, I thought, for me.
Okay.
You, Chris?
I think the chemistry, what's funny is I've only heard about this movie. I had saw the interviews for it. I thought the two main characters, Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeny, had better chemistry in the press for this movie than they did anywhere near this film. Somehow they marketed this movie as themselves flirting with each other in real interviews. And then you watch the movie and it is dog shit. Like when they're not connecting.
So maybe it's directing. Maybe there's some directing
I think it was.
problems.
I don't know. It was the script.
He's
plus
used to
the
directing fucking rabbits.
Yeah.
Now
CG
he's gotta
rabbits.
do
Hand puppets.
people.
I don't know. But I think that was a big one for me where I'm like, dude, I remember watching all these interviews or catching them on and off and just being like, wow, they really seem like super into each other. And they both they were both in serious relationships. So,
Okay, cool. Well, that's our critics. Middling. It seems like nobody was lambasting it. That was more,
Which is kind of shocking. It is
It
kind
is
of shocking.
so shocking to me because, and I handpicked probably the most negative of the reviews. there were a lot of positive reviews that were just like, yeah, this is a great movie. And
Were those positive? Did any of them, were they ironic? Like
Well,
ironically enjoying the film? They had to
I don't
be.
think so. I think what they were doing was they were going, I mean, this is, I usually give critics credit for this, but I don't feel like I am here. I think a lot of them were going, for a rom-com, this was a great movie. And I feel like that's not typically what a critic should do.
Not at all.
Conditional for a rom-com. It's like, that's rule number one. You don't do that when you're measuring movies to movies. So
For an action film,
audience members, that's all they do. But no, I feel like the people who were saying it was good, they were saying it was funny, it was charming, it was a good story because it had a kind of a little interesting twist, and obviously I think that comes from the Shakespeare Much Ado About Nothing element, but. I think that nobody was just hating all of it. They were just saying things like, "Oh, chemistry's not great," or the characters were flat, but nobody was just like, "This is dog shit."
Yeah, from the audience side, you guys ready for some of these?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Well, what was weird is I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled to these audience reviews, and they were not good. None of them were, and so I'm weirded out by why they were so high, and I just kept scrolling and scrolling. So I found 2, maybe 3 great reviews from hundreds of bad reviews. I mean, 1-star to 2-star reviews.
How does this have the
I
rating
don't
it has?
know.
Do you think it got review bombed?
I 100% think.
Well,
this
no,
got-
it almost got the opposite of review.
review
pumped.
It got review pumped.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Like
Do you
a lot
think?
of paid ad or a lot of
Had
paid
to
people.
have been.
Because it actually, guys, this only when we're looking at reviews, a lot of these movies I was comping it to had like 100,000 plus audience reviews and stuff. And I know this is newer, but still it was big. This one only has 1,000 plus audience reviews, which is
Right.
super low.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by how it got so high.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was weighted by so many. Maybe it was dedicated critics, or what are they called?
Top
The critics.
or verified audience, I think is what they.
So just GB, 5 stars. Great relaxing romance comedy. Highly recommended. I actually watched it 2 times, something I never do in my lifetime. Okay. Another one, AIR, 5 stars. I don't know why it makes no sense. It feels like I've been tricked, but I'm in love.
See, what the fuck?
What are these reviews?
Wait, can you read that one more time?
I
Hang on.
don't know why it makes no sense. It feels like I've been tricked, but I'm in love. 5 stars.
Wait, it makes no sense, and I feel like I've been tricked. Is the reaction to the movie 5 out of 5?
5 out of 5. I
It
knew
was
you were gonna
written
like
by
that one.
AI.
So that felt like it was written by AI because the name was AIR.
Yeah.
Wait
But-
a minute.
Yeah. So, all right. So Kai B gave it a 4 out of 5. I love the chemistry between Sydney and Glenn. Overall, really great. Guys, I don't know
What chemistry?
So, and then the rest were just absolute shitting on this film. Adam H, half a star. Anyone But You is possibly one of the worst movies I've ever seen. An audience score of 87 is an assault to any movie scored lower than that. I was actually kind of excited to see Sydney Sweeney in a comedy. I do not blame the actors for anything about this awful movie. The script is elementary, asks nothing of the viewer. Main characters disdain for each other. It's just, it goes on and on and on.
Sweetie's better in when she's in distress. Like, have you guys seen Immaculate? Just came out starring her.
I've not, no.
She's like in distress the whole movie, and like Euphoria, it's very distressing. I feel like that's where she belongs.
Yeah. And then this last one, James N, half a star again. This movie was so horrible, I made it a point to sign up just to warn others from even considering wasting their time watching it.
There we
You're
go.
welcome.
My guy.
Coming in hot.
Oh, those are rough. But it took me a long time to find positive reviews.
Okay, so I feel like we did not arrive at any sort of consensus here. I'm even more confused now
I know.
than
I
ever.
have a feeling we're not going to get any answers tonight.
Oh, I've got a few answers.
Okay. It's just going to be a lot of high philosophy, emphasis on the high.
Yeah. I like it. Did that help contribute to your score?
No, I don't know what you're talking about,
Okay.
officer.
No, I just mean like the philosophy part of it.
Yes. No. What?
I'll cut it all out. I got you.
No, you might have to cut out all of Brian's quarter tonight, Ben. So just be ready.
Okay. Okay. Where are we here? All right. This is Critical Mess. We are sponsored by the Peerless. The Peerless.
Speaking of, can you pass
Old
her
Elk.
down? Pass her over.
Old Elk straight whiskey, straight blended bourbon whiskey. Delicious, ambrosial as always. Modelo, shout out to Modelo, keeping us hydrated. Modelo always keeps us hydrated here on Critical Mass.
There we go. Some ASMR.
Little bottle pop. Yeah, I like that.
We really are drinking Old Elk.
Okay, now I think we flip the script. That's what we do. So I'll start because I like this movie. Everything was bad about this movie. The acting was bad. The script was bad. The storytelling was bad. The direction was bad. The production value was bad.
Nick's trolling us, you guys. His score's not actually 60 whatever.
No, it is. No, my score is standing. I mean, there's a lot of great things about this movie.
There's so many great things about this movie.
As we see the scene where Margaret takes her little dress off to put out the fire.
There's a lot happening in this film, and I feel like
They smoke.
despite all of these things, I still like the movie. But there was kind of nothing from like a very practical standpoint. Like just looking at this movie practically and objectively, it was mostly everything about it was bad.
Okay. We agree. Okay, that makes me feel better.
But you
Good.
enjoyed it. You had a feeling.
that's
But I
felt
really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
It really made. We'll get into this more, but we talk about movies making you feel something. This movie made me feel something. It made me feel a lot of things, and it made me laugh a lot.
Okay.
Which this made me laugh more than any comedy I've seen in the last couple of years.
Wow. That's high praise. Yeah.
So anyway,
There's only been 3 comedies that have come out in the last 5 years, though, right?
also a good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfrosted by Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Actually, I laughed a lot at that movie.
Did you?
It wasn't a great movie, but I laughed a lot.
I need to
Jim
watch
Gaffigan
it.
is very funny in that movie.
Yeah, I need to watch it. Flipping the script here, I'm at a 43, so I got to come up with something. I think it took a shit ton of risk. I mean, I had no idea it was rated R going into this. No clue. So I was expecting a nice, middle of the road PG-13 rom-com. And they went hard on some of these jokes. The full frontal, the nude scenes, just the risque. I respect that. So I gotta say,
she sticks her finger in his butt.
yeah, there's full finger up asses, and then you got Glen Powell full naked, just stretching his butthole out for Sydney Sweeney
and
to look
obviously,
at.
and Bo hangs dong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he squeezes his old
It's-
Peter and shows
it's-
it up to the screen. I mean, that was a close up.
And these are and you're using that as you flip the script, but these are reasons that deducted points for me for sure. I don't need
I
fingers
know,
up butts and anteaters. Okay,
But
I
I
don't
thought,
need
but
this
it
stuff.
made me laugh. I mean, I like Nick. It made me laugh out loud in this movie, and I've not done that in a long time with a film. So, I think it just maybe it shocked me.
You guys both laughed out. Ben, did you laugh out loud at this? Okay.
Oh, I
laughed
did.
I don't
so
think I
hard.
laughed one
Yeah,
time.
I
at this
laughed
movie.
legitimately
Explosive
at
laughter.
least 2
Really?
times, maybe 3
Really?
times at a few
Absolutely.
scenes where I'm like, dude, that was incredible. But
I
it's not
enjoyed scenes. I was like, oh yeah, that was funny, but I never wow, okay.
No, I don't know if it was
laughed
just
out
like
loud
how meta they were being with it, or if it was just how extreme it was for what I was
I
expecting.
think I was too busy. I don't think you can
Oh.
laugh and roll your eyes at the same time, and that was my problem.
I take that back. I did laugh when he was talking about meth and doing the.
That's my flip the script.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, please, Ben. I'm not cutting you off. I'm agreeing with you. Yes.
Yeah. That was the one time I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yes.
Because he was talking about doing meth.
I
at
actually
a-
did chuckle.
Yeah.
You're right. You
Yeah,
called
yeah.
me out.
That was the only time I really
repent of my
thought it was
folly.
funny and laughed. Anyway.
I don't know.
Well,
if-
explain that scene. Somebody, or you
so
can do it in your
I don't know
flip.
if you're done flipping yet or
Yeah,
not, but,
I'm
but
good,
I'm
yeah.
gonna flip, and that was the biggest one for me. Was in this movie, Ben, this put together guy who's got it all. He not only admits to doing meth, but he admits he's like, I did crack. He's admitting to doing meth and crack. This guy,
Yeah.
Seriously, and he tells the stories about it. And I just was like. And normally in a movie, somebody jokes about that and they're like, I've never done meth. But this guy having actually done meth, working at Goldman Sachs or wherever he worked as a Wall Street, that actually seems realistic to me.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Yeah. It made me laugh.
Those are the 2 times in the movie where I really felt like I was like, okay, they actually did push the envelope on the R here, because you cannot say those things in lesser ratings. I have that one. I've got I'm flipping the script here. I agree with you. Rated R. Could have been a PG-13. You take out maybe 2 visual scenes, and maybe 5 sentences of dialogue, maybe 10, and you've got yourself a PG-13 movie. And that's called doubling your income. But maybe in this day and age, the R rating makes a lot more money than it used to, because we're starting to break records with our R-rated comedies and movies that are coming out. They're grossing more than they ever used to. So I think maybe gone are the days where PG-13 guarantees you more money. I still think you're hedging your bets and you're going to get more money when you're opening it up to a wider audience. But again, I respect the movie for staying with the R. And then last but not least, I've told you before, I don't care about kissing, but this movie has really good kissing.
Couple of good smooches.
There's just some good, it was just the right amount. Wasn't too much. wasn't like a robot, like on Roadhouse. Like they were kissing. I don't care about kissing though. I don't care about kissing.
That made me laugh.
It's gonna be Brian's kissing corner here soon.
Brian's kissing corner.
Goodness gracious! All right, what are we doing now? What show is this? Critical Mess, and we are now. We've got a new segment. Still pretty new, right? It's pretty new. We've only been doing it for
But it's here to stay, baby.
3 or 4. Oh, it's here forever. In fact, I think it's taken over the show. I think actually,
This might
if
be
I
the
were
new
Hot
Hot Pocket?
Pocket,
Is this Totino's
I
pizza
would be
roll?
shaking in my boots because this might be the new.
Yeah.
Pizza rolls are a higher class.
This is like the
of Hot
Pop-Tart.
Pocket.
Pop-Tart coming up hot on a Hot Pocket.
Could be.
Kind of the same deal, but one of them is better than the other.
Well, it better be good tonight, guys, because we really built it up.
We
there.
just built it.
It's called Marquee Mess. It's a brief segment. That's what is so fun about it. It just takes a minute or two. And
We spend 3 hours preparing this, and
Right.
you guys get 30 seconds of bliss.
I didn't
right.
prepare very long for this. I'm sorry.
30 Seconds of Bliss could actually be the name of this.
it could be.
Very, very apt.
This is the segment where we rename the film. And, we usually, 3 to 5 is usually our target here. Sometimes guys go for extra credit, 10, 15. We know Gris has got at
33.
least 30 to
Your Gris.
60 usually.
I had to cut it down this week.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch. But yeah, guys, let's do it. Let's toss it around the room.
Could be Outback Beach House.
I like that. Gris, what you got?
Untitled rom-com was my first guess because I could not for the life of me remember the name of this movie multiple times.
That is the name of it.
Untitled rom-com. I
Yeah.
think would have been more memorable than what's it called?
What is it?
I don't even remember what
I
it's
think that
called.
would have been a pretty
Anyone
good name.
But You.
actually.
Anyone But You.
Anyone but all at once.
It's another bad name. We haven't
Yeah.
really talked about that yet. It's a pretty bad name. So this segment is warranted.
Yeah,
We need
exactly.
to rename
Yep.
this.
Nick?
I've got Anything But This.
Yes.
I would have
Yes.
remembered that. Yeah. I got Sweeney's Tots.
Sweeney Todd. I love it. That's
Good,
good.
good.
That's,
That's a nice
really
one.
good.
Yeah. Brian?
I had What Schemes May Come. What?
Go to Nick.
Oh, I thought
Oh.
you were
No,
showing
didn't-
me.
I was just
Like,
saying
wait,
we're
you
kind of
wrote
going
that
in a
down?
row.
That was only your second one, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What else do I have? Anyone But Me. Anyone But Me.
Dang it, you're stealing my thunder on my last one.
I didn't do as many this time, but I got one more. I got Glenn and the Glorious Tatas.
Yep.
Yeah.
See a theme here?
Tot heavy.
Tot heavy for sure.
This felt almost like a parody to me, so I had Not Another Rom-Com.
Not another rom-com.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah, it did. I could see that. It did.
I was
It
going to guess
almost was
that,
a
but
parody.
I feel like that was already done, but maybe it's not.
I don't think so. I looked. There's
Okay.
there's not another teen movie and all
okay.
those. And
I figured they made one and we just
I
never
don't
saw
think
it.
so. There may be.
I kind of alluded to this earlier, but NPC Island.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
Can we talk about how
NPC
small
Island.
Glen Powell's nipples are?
They're so tiny.
They're very tiny.
It's a diminutive nip.
I don't
Yes.
know that I noticed how small.
Oh,
they
you
were.
should
You know what
notice.
though, Brian? Ben did.
Look at
And that's what's
him.
important.
Look at him.
That's what matters.
I mean, that looks
Little tiny nips.
Yeah, it looks
They're
normal to
kinda small.
me.
He's a big
mean-
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the same size as the belly button. I had.
we're not cutting that.
Is that how you judge your belly?
I think the nips. There should be first of all, it should be a pretty almost equilateral triangle, and then he's got the triangle going. And second of all, they should be about the same diameter. The areola to belly button ratio should be 1:1. My next title: the thin line between love and hate. 2, mostly white people.
Fuckboy meets dipshit.
You could do like a Beavis and Butthead thing, fuckboy and dipshit.
Well, yeah. I was going back and forth on that, Ben. It could be fuckboy and dipshit.
I think
You know.
meats makes more sense.
Okay, yeah.
My last one is kind of had his thunder stolen. I should have known. Should have seen it coming. But I really hating the lead actress's lead performance. I had anyone but Sydney Sweeney.
That's
Yep.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And my last one was Dumb and Dumber Down Under.
Nice.
good.
That's good.
I think NPC Island and Sweeney's Tots are my
Yeah,
two
Sweeney's
favorites.
Tots.
Those are
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Those are solid. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for Marquee Mess. We had fun. We hope you did too. This is Critical Mess, speaking of messes. And now we're going to get to our, by far, most popular segment. This is the one that we get all the comments about, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really where we get deep into the themes and the arcs. And you know, one of the things that really we didn't have here, guys, was a name for the segment, right?
Ooh, do we have something?
And I'm going to throw one out there.
Okay.
Okay? Ready for this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tharks.
Okay, I like Tharks.
Farks.
Yeah.
With a K.
Tharks.
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 I like that because there's another podcast I listen to, and they do a true or false segment, and they call it TORF, true or false. And it's like, oh, I like that I don't know if they created that word or not, but it's like, Tharks, let's do it.
Well, this is
Tharks.
our word.
Yeah.
Tharks.
If you don't like it, Thark off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or thark yourself. Thark. Anyway. All right. Yeah. What do we have here, guys? I've done zero thinking on this one. So
you know what? It's for the themes. There wasn't really anything strong. I mean, you could say love, but I don't think that's the theme here. I think love is much more of a theme in a dramatic movie. Like we talked about this before. But there's a really great movie that just came out called You Hurt My Feelings. And it's not a romantic comedy. It's definitely a romantic. And it's funny. Maybe it is a romantic comedy, but I'd say that movie is much more about love than this movie is. So I'm not going to say love's a theme here. I will say maybe, I don't know, taking control of your own life. You know, she quits law school and she's worried the whole time to tell her parents, and she finally tells them, and that's sort of a sub theme. You know, I don't really know how to talk about this movie in terms of themes, because it's just, I guess, misunderstandings would be a theme.
that absolutely. I don't know
yeah.
quite how I would phrase it. It's something like that, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is the idea that like everything isn't like at surface level. You know,
The whole premise is built on a misunderstanding.
misunderstanding,
Somebody overhearing
right.
something, getting the wrong impression, and then the rest of the movie is about that. Do you have anything, Gris?
How to form a toxic relationship. I think we talked about that maybe before the episode, but I think this is just outrageously building on just a super toxic back and forth between these two that it seems kind of wild. And their friends are all egging them on the whole way through. The parents, the friends. It seems outrageously sad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's hard, man.
I do have a strong opinion about a character arc, though. But Nick, I'll let you speak to the themes.
No,
I thought you looked like you're getting.
Yeah,
ready to
no,
say
I
something.
got nothing.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
I have a strong character arc thought here.
Okay.
So B and Ben go from hating each other to loving each other, right? You would say that that's kind of the
relationship
character
arc.
Yeah, relationship arc is a great way to put it. But I think that's a very weak arc, and it's because it's based on a misunderstanding, which means the characters never really change; they just clear up the misunderstanding, and that does not create an actual true character arc. And so to me, the reason we're always harping on arcs around here is because they're very compelling. Character arcs are very compelling things, and they don't have to exist in a movie, but when they do, they should be strong, and they should service the plot and the themes and all that kind of stuff. And I want to point you guys to a movie that also has a misunderstanding at its core, but it does it the right way, Office Space. So think back to Office Space. It's not as central to the movie as this, but there's a very big misunderstanding. Peter thinks Joanna sleeps with Lumbergh. Right, and that kind of sets off. He's like, "How could you?" And Lumbergh's this disgusting boss, and he keeps picturing them having sex, and it's like it kind of leads to a crack in their relationship, and everything goes haywire from there. But it's so when he finally finds out, it's not the clearing up of the misunderstanding that fixes things. It's the characters have already arced to that point, and when the misunderstanding is cleared up, and they finally reconcile, it's addressed as like a throwaway line. You remember, he's like, it wasn't even the right Lumbergh. And it's like, that's not even what they're talking about. It's not like he's like, oh, we can be together because I thought it was a different Lumbergh. It's like, no, they've arced, but you still get the misunderstanding, which is kind of interesting and humorous element in storytelling, and it kind of subverts things. So that, to me, if you're going to have a misunderstanding in a movie, which it's you fine if you do, don't make that be the character arc. That's my TED Talk.
Yeah, Brian, we're lucky to have you, man, because I don't think
that was
Gris or I put too much thought into it.
I'm on the elliptical for an hour a day. I get to thinking.
Yeah, it was deep. It was deep. Yeah, we're just watching some butt squeezing right now.
And it's frankly
there's a lot of
very nice.
There's quite a bit of butt play
It's
in this
stupid.
movie.
It's stupid, but
interesting. And it gets pretty intense right about
right
now.
Right, you can see it on his face when it happens.
Anyway.
Yeah, there we go. Tharks. Tharks.
Tharks.
We're done.
That's all we got.
We're done. Well, that's it.
Okay, now it's time for a place with a song.
Oh.
Ben was looking at the butt play, which I don't blame him. So hey guys, I want to give you guys a set of numbers. This is number muncher's corner today, and I want to see if you can make the connection. Okay, I want to see if you're smart enough to figure out where we're going with this. Spoiler, you're going to know exactly. 150 million. That's the number of Americans who buy a lottery ticket every year.
Okay.
40. The percent of Americans that believe the Earth is 4,000 years old. 100 billion. That's the yearly revenue for the pay-to-win game industry. Pay-to-win. Okay? Are we starting to see a theme here? I'll give you more. 10. That's the number of Fast and Furious movies that exist. 16. That's the percent of people in the U.S. that cite Fox News as their main source of news. 6. That's the number of Grammys the Black Eyed Peas have won. The fucking Black Eyed Peas.
I see where you're going with this.
1,500. That's the average number of photos parents post of their children on social media by the time they're 5 years old. 1,500. 10 million. That's the number of Americans that believe the Earth is flat. There are 10 million Americans believe the Earth is flat. We're definitely getting canceled. 2006. This is my last number. 2006. That's the year that Crash won Best Picture. Okay? What do all of these numbers have in common?
All dumb people.
To me, they're a metric for how dumb society is. So that leads us up to this number. 8.8. That's the average audience rating out of 10 for anyone but you. And I want to put that in fucking context. Okay? 8.8. You guys remember this mirrors Brian's Corner from Uncut Gems when I talked about how high that rating out of 10 was compared to all absolute classics.
What was Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems audience rating was 6.2. Okay, I don't remember what the critic rating was. It was high.
Yeah, it was like 9. I thought.
How about the audience rating for Toy Story?
But Brian, this is all assuming that this is real.
Well,
this might all be.
This is you
pay enough money to the right people, your movie gets a 8.8.
You're undermining our entire podcast premise because it's based on the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
That's okay.
We have to assume they're real.
We will bask in the corruption.
Yes,
of Rotten
that's what
Tomatoes.
I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
That's
we're
what
being
we
meta
will do.
here by just.
All right, Toy Story. The audience rating for Toy Story, you guys, 7.6.
Bullshit.
Toy Story, 7.6. And 7.6 is very high. These are high ratings out of 10, okay? And but to remind us, Toy Story has like a 98% from audience on Rotten Tomatoes. This is not the percentage. This is the rating out of 10. So anything above 7 is like all-time classic. Forrest Gump, audience rating, 8.2. Audiences loved Anyone But You more than Forrest Gump. How about The Terminator?
Guys, I'm telling you.
8.4.
Yeah.
Anyone But You beats The Terminator. Wait, there's more. How about There Will Be Blood? Everyone loves There Will Be Blood, right?
Get wrecked. Fuck that.
8.4 out of 10, which again is an extremely high rating. Extremely high. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's set us back on course. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park. Okay.
We did go over this one on Uncut Gems.
This has to be amazing, right? Jurassic Park, 8.6 out of 10. Anyone But You is rated higher on Rotten Tomatoes than Jurassic fucking Park.
Yeah. As the
you peaked
person
on that one.
Yeah, I know. Right? I'm fucking pissed.
As someone that's typically on the audience side, and I looked at a shit ton of audience reviews, I am positive they review bomb this to be positive. Somebody or some entity did that.
But then where?
But then how did it make $200 million?
I know that's the thing.
All right,
That's all a lie. It's all a lie, guys.
I have a great answer for why it made $200 million at the box office. I have an unbelievable answer because their marketing budget had nothing to do with this film in the snippets from the actual film. It came from directly of the interviews in the press conferences that they had together, internationally and domestically. They did all, because obviously it took place in Australia, so they did a shit ton of promotion there. And they came back to the U.S. and did an entire round of promotions there. So their chemistry, if you watch just one interview with these two actors as real human beings that are both noted in relationships, serious relationships, that they looked like they were madly in love with each other. They were flirting like crazy, and the chemistry looked unbelievable. And then you watch this film and you're like, that has
That doesn't
what
translate.
the fuck? That translated 0 to this film.
Okay, so
I think that's how the box office got so big.
okay, sure, but I want.
But it doesn't explain the.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I'm just still saying, like, hang on a second. So are we going to sit here and say that this movie that we honestly don't believe this movie has an 8.8 out of 10, and we honestly don't believe it has an 87% of Rotten Tomatoes? Is that what we're saying as a group and we're putting out there?
We believe it's real. We just question how that figure was arrived at.
Oh, so we're really questioning that.
It's got to be. I mean, you said it, man. It's better than Jurassic fucking Park.
But Nick, listen. Audiences are stupid.
No, you're right.
So it's not like all of a sudden the critics are stupid. It's like the audience.
I get
it. So here, I guess my point here is more people after having watched Jurassic Park, and Anyone But You. Put it this way: less people after having watched Jurassic Park clicked 5 stars than Anyone But You. Jurassic Park.
All right, so
Jurassic Park.
I think that's a valid point. I get it, but I wonder how much, because our entire podcast is built off of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. You guys. I'm sorry,
this,
but I'm not going to allow us to sit here and say the scores aren't real because
So
just delete the podcast.
Now,
thing.
how much do you think it takes place in? A lot of the movies we look at and we're like, oh, that's an 8.8, that's a 9.1, that's a 9.4, 9.8, whatever. How many of those are well before the people watching a lot of these recent films and have an app immediately ready at Rotten Tomatoes are able to immediately jot down a review right out the gate, rather than having to go back and watch an old film from 20, 30, 40, 60 years ago and actually be like, oh, I remember I watched this new movie my grandfather told me about, or my brother, like.
I think my response to that, I think you're right, but I think my response to that would be that I think a lot of times people tend to rate older movies higher rather than lower.
I think it's far less often than new movies. I think that's the point I'm kind of maybe getting at.
Sure,
I
they
guess.
get less reviews and maybe they're less.
So it's less potent. Like you're getting 100,000 reviews for Jurassic Park, sure, but they're all basically the same or all around 8 or 9 or whatever. But then you have this one that gets massively love out of. It's just tough to.
Well, can I real quick? So,
Yeah.
Gris, you brought up that about the marketing being really good about this movie, right? And so maybe is part of it, that the marketing was so good for this movie that the movie itself didn't even really matter. Like
It did
people
not.
already had their mind made up that they were
Right.
going to like this movie.
They were
because
gonna give
the
it a 5
marketing
star.
Was excellent, and who gives it? It could have just been, this guy taking a shit in an outhouse for 90 minutes.
So we're definitely calling the audience members stupid, which I agree, I can totally get behind.
So how many?
yeah.
Do you guys
And-
remember seeing any promos for this, like
I
trailers?
Yeah,
I didn't.
I did.
Okay. Do you remember what scenes they were
There was always like it was always the two of them
on the boat?
on the boat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
That's about it.
Okay. I think they sold you on this vision of what the movie
That's
was
why I
going
saw
to
it
be. Yeah.
was for the two leads because I was familiar with them and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll watch them in a romantic comedy.
Had no clue about any other actor in this film.
I guess my point here is I just want to point out just how mindless the audience tends to be. And I know that we are all the audience. And I'm not calling every individual person stupid, but I'm calling mobs of people stupid.
Well, Brian, do you remember on one of our very first episodes, I remember saying this, right? The old George Carlin joke. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
It says, think of how stupid the average American is and realize that half of the country is stupider
stupid,
than
yeah.
that fucking person.
And Nick, I love talking about that, which is why I'm talking about it. And you're right. I just want to call another one out. Even The Wizard of Oz has an 8.6. Okay. And I thought, well, okay, maybe it's because it's romantic comedy. Maybe romantic comedies just by nature are like not, or I don't know, more high rated, or I guess I just wanted to comp it with some other romantic comedies, which would have the same audience, the same type of audience rating it.
I would say that rom-coms have a wider audience. They're more accessible.
Yeah.
And so that leads to more ratings.
I guess I'm thinking about the person who's like, I don't like Jurassic Park because it's scary or because it's action or I like the Terminator. It's like, but that's
just the genre
Just the
itself
genre, right? So
lends
now,
itself
so
to
now
accessibility.
Or time. That movie's 30 years old. I don't want to watch
Sure.
something.
Well,
Also, this is short.
Gris,
This is
we
like,
all like old movies.
I know we do.
hours.
We all do. But I'm saying audiences nowadays do not.
So I guess let's look at romantic comedies then. This is the last thing I'll say. Okay. I just want to read romantic comedies that we're all aware of and that are generally well received. starting with low to high, okay? And I'm going to get all the way up to equaling the rating of Anyone But You. So 10 Things I Hate About You, 6.4. Miscongeniality, 7.4. The Proposal, 7.4. My Best Friend's Wedding, 7.6. You've Got Mail, 7.6. And remember, every movie I'm saying right now, Anyone But You is rated higher than. You've got Sleepless in Seattle, 7.6. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, 7.6. Crazy Stupid Love, 7.8. Crazy Rich Asians, that's a recent, very similar one, 7.8. And pretty universally loved as well. Still a full point lower. Notting Hill, 7.8. Bridget Jones's Diary, 8. Silver Linings Playbook, 8.2. Now we're getting into romantic comedy Oscar territory.
Right.
Still only at an 8.2. When Harry Met Sally, The GOAT, 8.4.
Jesus Christ.
Annie Hall, finally, 8.8. We're up to 8.8 with Annie Hall, which is one of the greatest movies in this genre. And then 2 other, Roman Holiday and Some Like It Hot, both classic romantic comedies, all at 8.8s. And Anyone But You is at that same. I could only find 2 romantic comedies with higher ratings.
Can I just point out one other thing? I feel like also though, isn't there like over time that rating will degrade though, right? Because usually there's like things come out real hot. It's like, like remember when Avengers came out on Rotten Tomatoes and it was like a 99.
Yeah.
Like it was like insane.
And they grabbed
like
that
audience,
and they
it was like,
used it
how
as
is
the
this a
trailer.
99 with audience? And this over time it's gotten lower and lower.
I
and
hope.
lower and lower.
I hope so. And you're definitely right when you're talking about the first few months after something comes out, because you get all the people who go see it in the theater, and then you get the rest of the masses who get it on streaming and get it on Netflix and start rating it. But I will say this has been out for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, this
has,
didn't just come out like a month ago. So, but I
on
still
Netflix,
think you're right.
on Netflix pretty recently though, right?
Pretty recent. So
Yeah.
I'll
So
be
that
curious
gave
to
it
see
a
where
lot
this
more
goes.
people.
Yeah.
The only 2 I could find higher than this are Amelie.
Amelie.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Got a 9.
Yeah.
And then The Princess Bride got a 9.
Oh, nice.
Those are the only 2
Well, yeah.
rom-coms I could find higher. So,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah, I guess you guys, I mean, I hate to say it and I hate to just sound like a broken record, but man, general people who are out there in the world are just, I'm not even going to say it, because you know exactly what I think.
And this has been Brian's Corner. Here it is. All right, everyone. We are ready to talk our most famous segment. Really, our best segment, although Marquee Mess is nipping on the heels of this segment, I must say. This segment, better watch out.
We
but
might have to start
we
giving
are
2
hearing-
timestamps to our Patreons.
We
We're
might.
hearing from those audience members that listen to us.
Just might. And as you all know, I mean, how much are we going to belabor this tonight? I don't know. Maybe as much as we fucking want.
I can tell you
That's
this.
how much.
I can tell you this. I've been looking forward to this moment since our last Hot Pocket.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Guys.
sort of like after you finish eating a Hot Pocket,
Guys,
you're like, I gotta have another one.
Oh no, but it's before you finish. It's while you're letting it simmer.
It's almost like you wish you could be eating a Hot Pocket all the time.
Yeah, I fucking love pizza rolls.
I wasn't sure when to hit it.
I mean, I think you did just fine. That was
You did
just fine.
perfect.
Yeah. So this is Hot Pocket. And we're gonna
I
it's
love
slow
Hot
burn. It's slow burn. It's Hot Pocket. Crossfire.
Slow burn. We have too many. You guys realize all of our all of our cues are for this segment.
Yeah.
That's how good it is.
That's so good.
The
It
Matrix.
is.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
The Matrix.
Oh, no.
The Matrix. The Matrix. The Matrix.
Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy. Kansas
Man,
is going bye-bye.
I don't think we've ever made it to Hot Pocket before the Matrix.
moly. That's never happened before. Whoa.
Yeah, I told you I'm confused tonight.
What
I'm
happens
really confused.
when we get through a whole episode without mentioning the Matrix? What do we do? What happens?
We're gonna find.
We
out.
all have to sit in a room and watch the Matrix 35 times in a row together.
like it.
That's what it is.
I like it.
That'd be quite the bonding experience.
So we're settling into a nice Hot Pocket. Is that what we're doing?
A little pepperoni, a little bit of that fake cheese.
We're living cool.
It's not even like the round pepperonis. It's little tiny squares,
just the
little
bits.
square cubes.
Just the bits.
Yeah.
This movie's heavy on the Ronies.
Heavy on the Ronies.
The small nipples that Brian likes.
Oh yeah, I love a symmetrical triangle nipple button ratio.
It's just enough with the nip talk.
Hey man, I'm always replying to it. Ben brings it up, and I got to say my piece.
We're going to have to retitle this podcast to Nip Talk after this. I mean, jeez. All right.
Can we
let's-
talk about how
Here we go.
bad this
Let's
quote
talk
is?
about Anyone But You.
Yes.
She real quick before we start this whole segment. She goes, "I guess we're just 2 fucked up kids sitting on a buoy." And
Yeah, I've got that in my
Okay.
series of terrible dialogues, and I'll read it for you verbatim here, Ben. Look at us. Just a couple of fucked up people floating in the middle of the harbor.
Wow.
Hey, can I get that in your NPR voice?
How did I do that? Look at us. How did I do it? I don't know.
Yeah, it was really pretentious.
Look at us. Just a couple of fucked up people. No, I wouldn't. My thought there was also like, just don't tell me. Just show me. I'm seeing that. I know that's the case. You don't have to tell me that.
Yeah.
Bad dialogue.
Anyway.
All right.
Back to Hot Pocket.
Here's our first Hot Pocket, and it's going to be kind of a deep Hot Pocket because this is something I brought up earlier and I think we just need to get this right out of the way right away. This movie was deep, deep, deep for me into so bad it's good territory.
Oh.
And I know you guys, obviously wasn't that deep into that territory, but for me, I got just so much extra enjoyment out of this movie just because it was so bad. I liked it being so bad. And so I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
I'm curious about the so bad it's good. Like, I know that's a thing that people say, and that's a whole thing. I don't know if I understand that.
It's hard to explain, kind
All
of.
right. I think it's just
trying to think.
simply you're watching a film and you enjoy it, whether you have an exhilarating
you're
experience
entertained.
out of it or you have, whether it's a love story or an action film or a sci-fi, you just like connect to it and you find it outrageously funny or enjoyable, or it makes you feel something. I think we've talked about that multiple times. If a movie makes you feel something or think a certain way or think deeper than you should be, like I think that's what.
But it's still not good. I feel
No,
like
it's not.
I
think Nick agrees.
and that's the problem is that literally the phrase is so bad it's good, and I think that's where I get a hang up. I feel like I watch things where I'm like, it's so bad it's funny. Like when I watch Steven Seagal movies, like I genuinely enjoy watching a train wreck because it's funny.
I think it's so bad it's enjoyable. It's a better term than it's so bad it's good.
Can I ask the room this? Have you ever watched something that's in the so bad it's good territory and it's not been because it's been funny? Has it ever been like it's so bad dramatically that it's good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, give me
True
an
Lies.
example. True Lies.
Oh, True Lies is
What?
a good one.
Yeah.
I think
That
having
movie is
just watched it with Ben.
Good and perfect on every level.
But no, I'm
All right, having just recently watched it with Ben.
I'm choking down my every thought. and
Sorry,
feeling
guys.
that I have.
I know that. I
I'm
know that you all.
validating you, and I'm
I know that
validating
this
you.
is.
That's a 10 out of 10.
I know this is a
by all three of
beloved
us.
movie
Everyone's
by all
entitled to
three
their
of you.
opinion, Ben. Everyone's entitled. But I am curious because that's a valid question. So what about that movie was good? What? So you're saying it was so bad?
Yes.
That it was good. How? Funny? Entertaining?
Entertaining. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It was
So bad it was
I
entertaining.
enjoyed every minute of it. Like there was never a part where I was like, "Oh, this could have been cut," or like this took me out of the movie, or you know what I mean? It was all so bad. Like the acting was rough. Like from Arnold, Tom.
All right, that's enough. Shut the fuck up. That movie's amazing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. But it's True Lies.
Yeah.
It's True
I
Lies.
hate to gang up on you, Ben, but I got
Yeah,
That
it was
movie
great.
is
I mean,
almost
having
perfect.
watched it with Ben in person, it was really eye-opening to watch it with somebody that was just like, what the fuck are we watching? We paused it multiple times on multiple scenes where we're like, what is happening? We had to
Gris,
stop.
not you two.
like it's
No,
cle-
I
it-
think it's a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
It's a perfect film.
It's clearly not Arnold Schwarzenegger in a lot of the scenes.
Please keep producing us, Ben. I love you.
No, I will. I get why you guys like
I mean,
it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't hate it.
But I still want to hear. So, Nick, you had an example of a so bad it's good, but not because it's funny.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, because I asked you.
Yeah.
I asked the roommate.
What is
and you
it
said-
now?
You
Go.
both said yes, and Ben said True Lies. What do you have an example? Because I genuinely am curious.
So bad. Okay,
Like
so
maybe gory, like horror, like
sure. I think that
Okay.
could be. You could definitely some
Schlocky
kind of
kinda?
like exploitation type stuff. You know, I think can fall into that category. Even something like The Room, right?
Yeah.
I think is a good example.
But you'd call it
No,
good?
it's not. Don't
I
even-
think I have a
don't talk
problem
about
with the
that fucking-
phrase "so bad it's." Because you're calling it good, and it's like no,
But-
it's so
But
bad.
good
it's
is
bad.
such a relative term. I mean, what you mean by good? Like
No.
what I,
All right,
but
that's
here's
why
what
I
I'm
kept saying
by
it's so
good- yes,
bad
thank you,
it's
Gris.
enjoyable.
Right.
So
I
bad
think
it's funny.
and
It's
that's
so
what I'm trying
bad,
to nuance because
it's-
good, you
yeah.
guys, good means good,
What's good? Hey, what would you rate
It just means
what would you rate
good
the
to me,
word
though, or
good
good
and
to
what
you.
it means out of 10?
high quality.
Give us
No,
some
yes.
movies.
What would you rate the word good out of 10? 5.5, 6?
The word good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the word good. It's one of my favorite words.
No,
Okay.
but like, give
What
it
would you give it out of 10?
What is your range of? movie? Yeah.
So
I was
think
thinking
about
meta.
that.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
What would I say is so basically like what would
So
I
like,
flip
hey,
the script
I think this is a
negative if I'm
perfect
above?
film, 10 out of 10. But I think this is a funny film.
Perfect's different.
7 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
I don't know.
Good film.
I guess it depends on the.
Was that a 7? 7.5?
I think if I rated something 3 stars and above, I'm saying this is good. So that would be a 60. So anything above a 60,
okay, yeah.
I'm saying this is good.
That's a D. That's a D plus. That's a passing
grading
grade,
scale
right?
is different.
Passing.
I know, but still,
I don't like the grading scale thing because that's different. Because to me, an F is like a 20 or below. So it's
50 or below. Yeah.
Well, the grading scale doesn't make any sense applied to this because you can never go below 60, and you can never nuance enough of a rating. Sorry, we're getting real deep into the Hot Pocket.
Covered in
Hot
mozzarella.
But
Pocket
it's also out of 100, or it's 10 is still a failing
So
grade.
I guess I just want to say, so bad it's good. I have I don't have a problem with it. I'm just curious, is it ever not so bad it's funny? And you've said maybe with exploitation stuff. So okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good question. Obviously, this is just a lot of it's up to interpretation, personal interpretation.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about? What is the name of this movie?
But they're getting the
Hot
clothes.
Pocket.
They're getting the clothes all wet.
Anyone but you.
Sydney Sweeney.
Been judging the logistics of the film. What's our next Hot Pocket? Okay, I got to bite into another one.
Boy. Yeah. So how about, I want to talk about the physical humor in this movie, because we start off with kind of a lot of it, like, and the way they do it is just so, once again, it's so, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so cliche and ridiculous that I almost just can't help but just enjoy it. And the first example is,
The water
old
on
girl,
the pants.
the water on
I
the
thought
pants.
that was good.
And you get the drum music, yeah,
Yep.
and it's just wacky. It's wacky.
I didn't like any of that part. I didn't like how long she was in there and the talking through the door and the drums. But I liked the concept of the purse chain accidentally pointing the faucet up and hitting her. Like, that was funny. Just keep it there. But I liked it. I liked the physical comedy of that. I think it was pretty good.
And you see it, and it kind of repeated too, right? Because remember when she was like, straddling old boy on the airplane in first class, and then we once again go do 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 do, and then she's like, got her butt in his face.
That scene didn't make any sense at all.
How do you get your
I think
shirt
the
caught in
cookie
that?
wasn't.
Why
the
is
cookie
she
like
going for the cookie?
It was a metaphor.
Yeah.
It was a metaphor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this movie deeper than I thought?
I think it actually, sometimes it
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Dig a little deeper, Brian. Come on.
I'm trying to defend a 28 here, so I've got to be like.
I'm sitting at a 43. That's pretty rough. The Titanic reference with the hands on the glass.
Ooh, I've got a hot pocket about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think that they had a chance to do a Titanic throwback, and they didn't, because clearly Titanic is very highly highlighted when she's like, I'm flying, and then you almost think they're gonna do it, but it's just a handprint the next day. They had an option of showing a camera angle behind the cabinet when she's up with her back to it, with her hand hitting it,
smacking it,
or right after that in the shower with the glass door. They should have cut to a handprint.
This
on
is
the
a
glass
Hallmark
door.
movie. They're
And
not
they
going to
didn't.
talk about that kind of cinematography in this kind of film.
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
I know, but they just had. I actually was expecting it because they just did Titanic. Now we got a glass door lovemaking. I'm like, there's going to be a hand, surely. No hand.
All right, here's something. I'm going to drop a line of dialogue. And here's part of what makes this movie so genius, because I can't tell if this was a joke or if this was not a joke. And it just really made me think. That's when Fuckboy quotes his mom and says, no matter how broken something is, there's always a way to fix it.
That's the most false line I've ever heard.
Yes. That's a really, really...
So you're asking...
My question is, did they include that to actually be a poignant...
I think they
poignant's
did.
not the right
Yes,
word,
I think
but
they did.
They absolutely had that line in the movie to be like a truth, and it was...
Yes,
and that's
like
such
some
a
sort of
stupid
extreme-
line. It's a naive line.
In fact, it's like unbelievably stupid. Like, I can't even comprehend how stupid it actually is.
It's like something a kid would come up
right,
with.
and so that really added something for me. And I feel like that was like, because I had to really think about it, know, and I didn't know how intentional it was. But yeah,
I think
guess,
there's a lot of people in the world who would hear that line and go, "Say what?" So it just doesn't. It strikes me as something an entitled white person in America would say.
yeah,
I don't know.
it was peak stupid. Anyway,
With no disability.
so I loved how remember Pete. Remember Pete? What's his name?
Gata.
Gata.
Wait, I thought he was playing Gaeta in this movie.
No.
Was that not his name?
No, his name was
his
Pete.
name is Pete.
Oh, I thought his name was Gaeta in this movie. I guess I take back everything I said.
I love when he comes over to Fuckboy's house and Fuckboy's like, "Sup, Pete?" Who greets their friend like that? Do you ever call your best friend by his first name when they walk in?
I think
you
I
go,
said,
"Hey,
what's
man."
up, Nick, when you got here.
Did you?
Yeah, I said, what's up, Nick?
Okay,
I'm kind of a namesayer, though.
This is not a very good one then.
No, the line.
Anyway.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be
No,
contrarian.
no,
I'm
but
just
you're right.
speaking
You
my-
probably did. I guess my thinking is just like I never call my friends by their names ever, and
That's
it seems
true.
incredibly
Am I
unnatural.
the only one who does this? You
Yeah,
guys
I
tell me
say
now.
bud or boss or dude.
You say bud a lot.
Yeah, bud a lot.
Yeah, I never.
I call everyone by their name.
But that's okay.
What's wrong with
You're
me?
just doing you.
You're
man.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That wasn't the part that got
Don't
me.
you ever call me by my name ever?
Oh, call me by your name is
such
a
a
good move.
boomer.
Okay, bro.
Thank you.
What's up, champ?
That's my name now, bro.
Cool, chief.
The line that got
Jam,
me
bro.
from Gaeta was 2 showers in one day. Go off, King.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
I like that one.
Are you? What?
That's Gaeta. That's so Gaeta.
Yeah,
What
that
is
was-
so Gaeta?
Yeah, that was yeah.
Guys, why does Margaret steal macaroons in this scene? They never pointed out and they never call it back.
Because she's a fucking psychopath. She
Is
looked
she?
like a psychopath.
But she's not, though. They don't paint her to be a psychopath in the
no.
movie, right?
All you had to do was look at her eyes.
Why did she steal the macaroons? Why?
Because she
Weird.
was hungry.
Because she's not a good person.
She's also, let's be serious, she's just dumb. She's real dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that tracks.
And the fact that like she
just thinks she can just take it.
and the fact that she was in law school, like I was having a hard time like getting over like she's like this lawsuit, like she
Wait, no,
she can't even
Margaret stole them.
Yeah,
I'm
Margaret, the
sorry,
older. Yeah,
Margaret.
the also
the other old girlfriend.
not be sorry about that.
But like, I guess it would.
regardless, B is also stupid.
I was gonna say, well, yes,
They're
they're both
both stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's why she's dropping out of law school.
yeah.
I guess she is dropping out.
Look at this shot, Ben. Just the cinematography in a
Impressive.
couple spots.
Oh, look at that.
Overhead views, angled views. It's just
There was a Dutch angle in the airplane that I thought was interesting.
29.
That's about it. Wow.
Psych.
All because of a Dutch angle and an overhead.
yeah. Still at a 43
That's all
here.
it takes, man.
Yeah.
Just give me a little something out of the ordinary. All right, what do we got, Nick? Hot pocket us.
Here's a legitimate laugh I got on the airplane. Remember the little back and forth that she and he are having, before the whole
With the old guy.
Oh, and
with
the
the
old
old
guy?
guy.
Yeah.
The old guy's like, "What the fuck?"
The fuck?
I
actually think I laughed at that,
hard
too.
I laughed. That was a moment I laughed because
Hilarious.
that was the first moment that I was like, wait, what is this movie rated? And I flipped to the thing and I was like, oh, geez, it's rated R. I don't know
I
why.
think it got one of these out of me.
Just something.
Just a forced breath out.
I think that was when we were still watching it. I think you saw that part.
Well, and I guess actually, kind of in the same vein, I guess I would point out I was actually a little surprised, like how nasty and how terrible these two were to each other as people who didn't know each other very well, and they were just so awful to each other in a way that was obviously completely ridiculous, which I don't know, added something for me.
I like a good fight. Like, I like the breakup.
Yeah, right. It's kind of fun watching it.
Yeah.
But it was just...
I like two hot people that hate each other.
Yeah.
There's something about that.
I know, it's
that-
just
that
get
I
it over
like.
with. Just bang.
Yeah, because
Like,
it's so
I just-
close to
like,
banging.
I know,
You're right
I know,
there.
I know. Yeah, and that's honestly what this movie is. It's two hot people that just won't bang.
False edging
Like-
all the way through.
That's all it is.
I mean, you're not wrong.
yeah, and I think that's a great premise.
As Ben would call it,
if you
it's very
came in with a
edgelordy.
high concept and you came in, you're pitching to the studio exec, you said, "Okay, we got this super hot guy and this super hot girl, and they just won't do it." I think they're just like,
Greenlit.
how much money do you need,
However-
sir?
Yeah.
They look at each other.
$26
They look at
million.
each other naked, and
Yeah.
they stick a finger in each other's butts.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's a check for $200 million.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway. Hot pocket.
Like the first time they meet, they sleep with their clothes on.
I know.
Like, how edging is that?
I was
Yeah.
disappointed. I was
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah, this movie started with the most PG one night stand of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went into the hardest, just not hardest R, but
No.
definitely the hardest like rom-com I've seen in a
Bro,
long
have you?
time.
I hate to keep bringing it up, but Sydney Sweeney, have you ever watched Euphoria? Like,
I
do you know
have.
how deep R can go?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
This is
but
not that.
no, that's different. That's not
This
a
is for
rom.
kids.
That show's not a rom-com. I'm saying
I know, but
like
I'm just
a,
saying when you're
a
talking about
hard
R.
rom-com.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I mean, when was the last time you saw a hard rom-com? American Pie.
I only do soft
I
rom-coms.
saw that Jennifer Lawrence No Hard Feelings, but that wasn't a rom-com. That was more of just a comedy. And that was R for sure.
What about the Jennifer Lawrence one that came out recently?
That's it. That's
No hard, is that what you said? No hard feelings? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said
Literally
something else.
just said that.
It's like there's a Seinfeld episode where they're talking about good naked and bad naked.
Oh, yeah.
And No hard feelings
Classic.
is bad naked.
Yeah.
Definitely bad naked.
The beach scene.
Cleaning, brooming,
opening a
coffee
pickle jar.
It's bad naked.
Yeah, bad
opening
naked.
yeah.
That's the tractor story? All right, next.
This will be a quick one. So remember when Pete, aka Gata, at the airport, he just like knows Mandarin. He's just like,
Yeah,
what?
that was
It's
fucking
like,
stupid.
Oh, okay.
That was so
wild.
stupid.
That was a strange.
Like,
choice.
why would he know that?
Okay, guys, tell me I'm wrong here because I'm not. I'm gonna stop. I don't think the joke is his name is Fuckboy. I'll stop calling him Fuckboy. But it's just funny.
No, that's
'cause
he's referred to that like 5
he
times
is
in the
Fuckboy,
movie.
at
He's
least
Fuckboy.
5. So we can keep calling him Fuckboy. You know who he looks like? You know who he looks exactly like? Can someone just nail this? Because it came to me. I was like, who is it? Who does he look like? Another actor.
Is it a Hemsworth?
Not a super famous actor, but from a movie we've all seen for sure.
Steve Buscemi?
Poor guy was just punched in the face in New York.
I know. Sad.
Who does he look like?
Because once I say this, I think you guys are all going to be like, yeah, you're right. Anybody?
He's on camera right
Are
now.
you talking about him?
I'm talking about
you talking about Fuckboy?
Fuckboy.
Oh, Glen Powell?
Glen Powell.
Have you guys
Oh.
seen this movie?
He looks like a swole version of this guy to a T.
Oh my gosh. It's not Chris Evans. No.
No.
No, a swole version.
Okay,
of-
one more hint. Think older.
Zac Efron? No.
Think 80s.
Oh.
Tom Cruise?
Val Kilmer?
No, guys. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's Cameron. He looks exactly like Cameron, doesn't he?
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah,
I think he looks
see
a
it.
lot
I
like
see
him.
it.
Yeah, a little bit.
see
Yeah, I
it.
can see that.
I think their faces
The facial
look
structure
very similar.
Yeah, if you can get
No,
past
but
the,
he's
the
way more
dick root-
jacked.
Yeah.
Cameron was this skinny little bastard.
If you can get past this perfect
Look
equilateral
at this guy.
triangle.
That's
It's
Cameron, guys.
it's the squint, the hard
Yeah.
actor squint.
Same
Yeah.
The
expressions.
squint, little tiny thin
it's
lips.
the eyes. You're right. It's the eyes for sure.
Yeah.
That's just Cameron to me, guys.
Good call.
Also, 2 more forgettable characters than the brides.
They were terrible.
They were like they.
Zero chemistry.
Let's read
Negative
some dialogue from
Yeah, please. hit us with it.
They were
from the black one.
they were might as well have been khaki pants
because they both had bad dialogue, but the one girl had so much worse. I just want this wedding to be perfect because I love the shit out of her and I want to marry the bitch. And you guys,
I definitely
this
had
was
that.
just a casual line in like a normal conversation. This was not in the context of a fight. What's wrong with her? What is she?
So angry.
Why does she have
So
to be so
angry.
angry?
I don't know.
fucking loves that bitch,
And
man.
that's
I
coming
kind of
from
want
me.
that on a T-shirt. I think that's a good line.
You want to marry the shit out of her, huh? You want to marry
I
the
don't want
shit
to.
out of somebody. No,
I
I
just
know,
think
but
it's
I'm just saying, like, would you ever say that? Come on.
It's hot dialogue.
She goes, somebody says, I don't remember. Wait. Yeah, it was her. Here's another one right after. Look, baby, I love you to the moon and back, but those 2 fuckwads are going to destroy our weekend. This is like the same conversation. She's out of control.
But wasn't that a ruse when she was saying that?
No,
No,
I don't think so.
this
No.
was not part of that fight.
was-
This was like in the
okay,
same
okay,
conversation.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But there was that whole ruse thing. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
okay, sure.
Anyway, that dialogue no one would ever say. All right, let's get some sand under your feet. No one says that except if you're in a Cialis commercial.
Yeah, well, let's just get into that for a second because it does feel like a Cialis commercial.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Even the way it's like everything, the way it's shot.
You could take any 7-second clip out of here, and it's like that's Cialis.
Yeah, literally just put a bathtub on any of these shots with 2 of these old people holding hands, and we're there. This is a Cialis commercial. Anyway, what are we doing? Hot pocketing. Hot Pocket is sponsored by Old Elk, right?
yeah.
Peerless and Ambrosial.
Peerless and ambrosial.
A little buttery on the palate as well.
Yep, it's the sauce that fuels the podcast.
Very buttery tonight.
Modelo keeping us hydrated.
Did I miss a scene where the dad, or B's dad, is like mentioned to be some sort of like Christian minister or some sort of super Christian guy?
Missed
I
it.
didn't catch that part.
Because the whole movie, he's like catching his expletives and like there's all these Christian references, and he's like this uber like conservative Christian guy. Did you guys catch this?
Not at all.
Not really.
Okay, so I didn't miss a scene then. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. They wrote him to be sort of this like super like Christian parent, And it's like it was just confusing because they never set it up correctly. And clearly you guys don't know what I'm talking about. So another thing that didn't make sense about this movie.
Yeah, I can buy that.
Also, it's weird that they just are like, all right, now you kiss, now you kiss, now you guys kiss.
It felt like a very stereotypical,
It just was like so
shitty commercial.
It doesn't help that I hate weddings too. I feel like I'm being so negative to just smearing cake on someone's face. Like, can we just stop?
Oh.
Can we stop smearing the cake?
Having shot weddings for 10 years.
I'm so sorry.
10 years of his life. That's what's grown this man to what he is today.
I hold the belief that if you've smashed cake in someone's face, it is a recipe for a failed marriage.
Okay.
Hot
That's
take.
actually really good because we didn't do that, did we? Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, for the podcast,
We did not.
I just fist bumped my wife who's sitting next to me. No, that holds
Debunked.
true. And I fucking hate when...
Yeah. I think that
it's like everyone who does it thinks they're the first one who's ever done
What's
it.
also it's also a vicious move to do that in front of everyone else.
Yeah.
On a day that is about
supposed
celebration.
to be so perfect and supposed to be so planned.
You're supposed to be nice to each other and care about each other and love each other. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna smash this fucking face.
Yes, you get me,
Yeah.
Ben. You really get me. You guys, Brian's Corner 1.0 tonight was going to just be about weddings. And it was going to be about movies that had weddings in them and the stupidest wedding traditions, but it turned into what it was. So, yes, there's so much stupid wedding crap. Oh, I can't stand it.
I guess I'll just read this. I know I gave this movie a, check my notes here, 67. But I did write at a certain point in this movie makes me want to hurt myself. So
Ben, I don't know how you gave this a 67. You said
You must have laughed
it made me
so hard.
feel things, Brian.
Yeah,
it
but
made me feel deep.
You really are highly weighting just some feelings.
Was
Yes,
it,
I am.
Was it like a deep feeling or was it just a comical feeling? I feel like you didn't physically
I'm not
feel
sure.
a deep meaning behind something that happened. I feel like you just were like, you had a visceral reaction.
What did you feel? Did you feel like a tingle in your
loins?
What specifically
A tingle in his
did you
anteater.
feel?
Yeah. It's anteater.
I don't know, guys. I'm just reading. I
Hog
may have
bonnet?
been in a bit of a stupor, but that's the note that I had next.
Got a tinkle in his hog bonnet.
So, gosh, that Pete, aka Gata, he's also just a maestro on the piano.
Oh yeah, he narrates the whole scene.
Yeah, what can this man not
That
do?
scene was almost good if it wasn't super unrealistic, but at least stylistically it was interesting how he was playing the piano, but it just didn't make any sense.
I had a lot of fun with this movie.
What's next?
Here, we'll throw out a quote. This was another one I was like, man, I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about dick.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Strong.
That's actually not a bad quote. Let's just be real.
Strong.
Yeah.
I kind of talked about this earlier, but this movie it has a great high concept. And I heard this phrase the other day, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Thought it was funny. Two people, right? Two hot people that just won't get together. They refuse to smash pissers.
Wow.
Wait,
Gris, I'm referring to coitus.
What?
Yeah, I got it. Smashing
Copulation?
pissers. Got it. Smashing
I just thought
pissers.
that was funny, guys.
did they say that in the movie?
Nobody says that.
Nobody says that.
I thought it was like a down under mate type of deal.
No, it is like an Australian thing, though.
Okay.
I think it's some of that Australian slang.
They say it in a
smash?
Outback Steakhouse commercial.
Smash pissers.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
though?
it's in reference to
Come
the
get the
bloomin'
bloomin'
onion.
onion.
Yeah.
It's
It's
in
so
reference.
lewd, but it's also not. It's
It's very accurate.
By the way, I had
correct.
very accurate.
I had Bloomin' Love as another one of my titles.
Oh man.
Another good quote was, "There's no us in assholes," because that's correct.
Who says that?
ASS.
But
B.
but wait,
A.
you said these are Nick sentences?
No. That one's from B.
Oh, I thought you said me. B.
B.
Guys, what does that mean?
I
There's
don't
no
know.
us in
I don't
assholes.
know.
Well, so you spell out
You
assholes,
think
and
it's
there's
like,
no
there's
There's
you.
no us. Yeah, Ben's got
I
it.
get
Yeah.
that part, Ben. There's no literal us and
Oh, I
assholes,
get it,
but
yeah.
what does the overall quote even mean?
So the word asshole, ASS, there's no
Oh my
US.
God, Gris.
There is an S though,
There is an S.
I was hanging on
Correct.
every word you were saying.
but there's no U.
Your whole body turned to me.
Give it to me.
Hot girl fit. Guys, had you heard that one before?
Yes.
I hadn't heard that.
Hot girl fit?
Yeah, it was a slang terminology.
I actually
used
like
in
that
this
a
one.
lot.
Yeah, I understand
great.
the meaning. It's how B described the
Glen
fuck
Powell's
boy.
character.
Yeah.
Oh.
When they went to
'Cause
go
he doesn't
swim,
do-
because he looks outrageously fit, but he couldn't swim.
Oh,
he had no
hot girl
athletic cardio
yes,
abilities.
yes,
Girl
yes.
fit.
I actually did love that. I love that. Yes.
And then remember Bo swimming, like beast mode. He was like flying through the water.
How'd they do that? He
Yeah.
must have been on some sort of
No,
underwater.
that guy can really do that. Yeah,
You're such a fan of Bo.
but he was great. Boy, what
That
else
guy
do we
was
have
so
here?
unrealistic.
Okay, Gris, you talked about this a little bit. Remember, we were speaking on Bo. We are talking about Bo and all the sort of euphemisms he has for his
Ding-a-ling,
his ding dong.
his dong-dong. Yeah.
And well, the one that
Peener.
got me was when he said, "Don't you hate it when you have sand down your gobbler?" And I hadn't heard that one.
Gobbler.
Gobbler.
Sand down your gobbler.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Those Aussies.
But I'm on board with it.
Sand down your gobbler. I don't know, like the throat of a
don't go any further.
A
turkey. Yeah, throat of a turkey.
I don't
mean,
know.
that's a
And
very
guys-
visual thing that I'm thinking of right now.
And
I'm thinking of sand down in it and down under.
And speaking of the visual, guys, I mean that was
undercarriage.
The undercut.
that was a pretty fake dick that we saw.
Yeah, it was definitely fake.
what?
I would have, if you're gonna throw me the full front piece, give it to me real.
Yeah,
legally in
seriously.
Give it to me
2024
raw.
and legally in
I don't-
2024, I don't think they can anymore.
Yes, actually, I think they can. I think it's more accepted now than it ever has been.
Yeah.
I agree,
I
but
think there's always been women
as
nude
a
and not men.
as a community or as a culture, I think it is accepted. But I don't think visually in a film you can actually shoot that.
Yeah, you
What?
can.
Of course
Yeah,
can.
you can.
Well,
You just gotta
definitely
get
can.
the.
Yeah, you can. You can now. You
Not
could,
for a
you-
wildly-
I think we're getting a lot more equitable in the type of nudity we can show between men and women, which is a good thing.
That's
For
good.
sure.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hang dong, hang dong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
show
that's
it
what I'm
off.
saying. Like, don't show it in its most unflattering, weird
Yeah, and this
situation.
weird prosthetic.
Where it's like just show
White
it.
Lotus,
just show a dick. We've
season
all seen
2.
it. It's fine.
So actually, that was my biggest complaint about Challengers, the movie that just came out.
Zendaya.
It was a lot of horny, but not a lot of nudity.
Yes, Ben and I went and saw it together.
That's
Yeah.
fine with me.
We sat next to each other
right next to each other.
and held hands.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The entire movie. But no, there just wasn't like Zendaya was never really nude,
No,
and then the guys never really showed dong, and it was like very horny, but
Yeah.
not
horny
explicit.
horny is a great word. It was very explicit in what they were thinking and how they portrayed it visually and like how they talked to each other and like how they got close to each other. It was very tasteful. Like it was done really well.
It was interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were like if a hot pocket had a baby, and that baby
And shit out
had another
40
hot pocket
pizza pockets
inside.
or hot pockets.
We're 3 layers deep.
Baby
Would
pocket.
Hot Pockets, if babies,
It
be
would be
Totino's
rolls.
pizza
Yeah,
rolls?
Totino pizza rolls. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll give you that.
With the spicy pepperonis inside.
Yeah.
Boy, we're just getting deeper and deeper.
We're in a pizza roll.
We're challenging our
We're in a
last remaining
pizza roll
listener.
right now. We're getting ready to have.
Guys, is it cringe to say cringe?
Yes.
It's starting to become.
It is. You can't say it anymore.
You can
As-
say
Oh,
that
no.
I was cringing, but you can't just say cringe. That's so out.
Father of a 10-year-old,
Yeah.
I used the word cringe a number of months ago, and he just could not fathom that I said the word out loud. And he was so upset. And I love that I found a word that I
Yes.
can use that pisses him off to no end.
Yeah,
So
same.
the other word is glizzy. So I use that
What?
often.
I literally just said that.
He's like, dude, come on, man.
That's what's funny
Today.
about like our oldest is 14, and like what he doesn't understand is the more violently he reacts against a word,
Yeah.
the more likely I'm going to use it
Yeah.
from now
The
on.
greatest moment of my life so far as a parent was when we're driving back from practice, long drive, slow burn, hot pocket, whatever. So we're going up, and I don't know if you guys know Sketch, the character
Yes.
from streaming. Yeah. Okay. What's up, brother? Yeah. So I went through the whole spiel, and he goes, "Dad, do you know who Sketch is?" And we're just driving long
you
drive
told
back
me
home.
this. You told me
and
this.
I go, "What's up, brother? Special team, special play." And he just fucking lost
his
it.
brain couldn't
His brain
rectify.
could not compute. He had his hands on his brain, and he's scratching at his skull as if he could not compute that I knew everything that this person had said
And you
for a
derive
whole.
so much joy from that, I'm sure.
Oh, dude, I loved it. I was living in that moment, and I will never. If I can find more moments of that in my life,
Yes,
I'm
for
going to
sure.
go for it. So,
That's amazing.
hot pocket.
All right, I'm going to read a quote.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the first time I felt fire in my life, and
I
I
had that.
just had to blow it out. Now, I want you to ask, guys, was that a quote from B or was that me after a big Montana at Arby's?
Big Montana at Arby's.
Correct.
Well,
Yes, come on.
only because I literally had that quote written down on my terrible pieces of dialogue list. That's B.
It was B.
That was when they were
guys. It was both of us.
they're in the harbor. It was both. The answer's both. They were in the harbor.
They also
and he's asking her why did she leave that morning, and she just gives him this unrealistic line that's so stupid.
they had much ado about nothing on the top of a scoreboard.
Yeah.
In one of the scenes that made no sense in the middle.
Yeah.
And
There was
once again like Oh Brother Where Art Thou didn't put the Odyssey in there.
Right.
Like you don't
No.
need, like, okay, we get that this is Much Ado About Nothing retold. You don't have to fucking tell us and act like we're idiots.
You know what's funny is I did not notice any of those things in this entire film until second watch. Like I was super confused at the end of the film when they're having that deep conversation at the what's the big
Opera house
in Australia, and he's talking about something about 2 years, and I was like 2 years. It's been 2 years since you guys met, and then I had to go back to the start of the film, and I was like, where is this 2 year reference that they had this relationship? It was a one night Kudo, stand. And then there was that weird neon sign in the bar that I completely missed.
The
that said
diegetic 6 months later. Yeah.
Right. And then
that was
once
part
I
of my terrible
rewatched
meta.
it was when that moment and the first watch, I was like, 2 years, what is he talking about? I had to scroll back, find that, and then on second watch, I started to notice all these little tiny snippets.
Yeah, they were so stupid. They were not effective.
No, it's zero. Yeah.
And I just want to say before the scene's over, the song they're all singing to at the end of this movie when everybody's
You
like
loved it,
fake
didn't
happy.
you?
This is in my Mount Rushmore of absolute least favorite songs ever written.
Ben, do you want to talk
This
about
What
song
is that? What
fucking
is it? What is that song? What is it?
Absolutely
Unwritten.
terrible.
Unwritten?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Unwritten.
I don't care. I don't want to know anymore. Guys,
Who is
let's
the
stop
artist?
talking about the song.
I don't know.
No clue. I know the song.
I don't know either. I just know it's
You
the
guys,
worst song
I
ever
just
written.
assumed that was like
All right,
Katy Perry
so
or something.
Ben and
No.
I,
No, it
Ben and
wouldn't
I
be
have
Katy
been,
Perry.
Okay.
Ben and I have been on photo and video shoots together many of times.
It's the most
And-
generic, corporate, stupid.
And one of the producers on these shoots wanted to do this at every single turn, at the end of every shoot, during every day of shooting. They wanted us to lip sync to some weird song in the hot moment. And that just made me giggle at the end that this is an actual thing that was
Also,
done.
we never put it together.
We never put it together. We never completed this. But I cannot believe it was done in a film.
It is Natasha Bedingfield, and it is called Unwritten.
No one else can shoot me.
Keep going.
The rest is up to you. Some bullshit.
I know every word.
Yeah, you've been to every wedding, and you've heard this.
I have heard
in
this a
the
lot.
Terrible
interviews,
song.
with Sweeny and
look at that.
Glenn.
Klonopin is by Maple. Maple's the dog's name. Anyway, continue.
I liked Klonopin.
Yeah.
Did you guys get chills when they finally smooched? I know Brian did.
Actually, well, no, it was good kissing. I thought it was good kissing.
It was
You
great.
don't care
Yeah.
about kissing though.
Oh, well, I don't
Guys.
care about it.
I felt
it's good.
I felt absolute nothing in this film
Well,
when
no,
it came
was-
to a romantic or a romantic relationship.
I agree. I felt nothing either, but also,
Love this. Switch.
what?
Click on this subject
Click
that
on
says
the
"love
love
this"
this.
versus
No,
"like this."
I'm not loving
I already did it.
Brian let me borrow his Netflix, and so
Oh,
I,
you motherfucker.
Yeah, I definitely already clicked.
He's been liking and watching shitty films
No
for
wonder
weeks.
I've gotten all this shit.
I got it covered, guys. Don't worry.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? Talking about weddings here, because I really wanted to do Brian's corner on weddings in movies. But I'm curious, what is your favorite movie that features a wedding as the major plot point, or like
Wedding
what's-
Crashers.
Wedding Crashers? Okay,
100%.
Yeah, very funny movie. Nick, do you have a wedding movie that you think about and go to, or even a scene in a movie that you love?
Yeah, it's got to be The Graduate, right?
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I've only seen like
I
half
changed
of
my-
that film.
I changed my
need
answer to
give
that.
it a fresh
That's-
watch.
That's
You
a
should
great
watch it, though.
answer.
It's a
I do.
classic,
I need to
yeah.
give it a fresh watch soon.
Don't watch it before Goodfellas, but
No.
I'm assuming you still haven't watched that one. I'm gonna say, so I actually liked the movie The Hangover a lot, and it had a wedding as its sort of driving motivator throughout the movie. So that would be up there. Old School had a funny wedding scene, but I think Father the Bride. I'm gonna put Father the Bride as my like wedding movie. Like I love that movie. Princess Bride's great too, but I feel like Father the Bride is the one. Thanks for answering my question. Now we can go back to the Hot Pocket.
Hot Pocket.
You're on point with those, Ben.
Thank you.
Guys, I just have to apologize to my grandma for this episode. I feel like it's we This has been an adult episode.
Who are you apologizing to?
My grandma.
Oh yeah, sorry.
She listens?
Gran, she might listen one time to time.
Sorry,
What's her
sorry,
name?
Nelda.
What's her name?
I'm
Give
not-
her a
I'll
shout out.
never say.
Sorry,
Oh,
Yeah,
Betty.
Bertha.
Johnny.
Bertha. Who's got the best grandma name in here? Who's got one?
I got a Peggy.
You got a Peggy?
I don't. Sue. It's
Sue?
Yeah.
You ready for mine?
yeah.
Kunigundi.
No,
Ooh.
well, you're German. That's not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Connie was the Americanized.
It's pretty good.
And you?
I got a Pat and a Peggy.
Peggy.
Nick's sitting with a Bertha.
No, my grandma's remain anonymous. How about 0 out of 10? Rate the relationship chemistry between the lesbian marrying couple.
I'm biased because I had a problem with the fact that I feel like this movie like intentionally patronized the gay couple because they're a gay couple, and it felt like the movie was like, well, we have to have them be absolutely perfect, and even the fight that we thought they had wasn't even a fight; it was staged, and they're like fake perfect. I had a big problem with that.
Yep.
I know that's not your exact question, but it's muddying the waters for me, so I'm going to rate it a 3.
2 out of 10. That was so toxic.
Okay. Yeah,
Across
thank
the
you.
board.
Thank you.
It was
That's
bad.
what I wanted to say.
Yeah. I had it at a -2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I
Where did we
was
go
I was
negatives?
around that too.
I'm the high watermark. Okay.
Jeez, high score. Brian, calm down.
Jeez.
Did anyone else get the feeling that like everyone on this movie was like kind of on benzos?
Oh man, there was something happening with the dad.
Like everyone was kind of a little bit loopy.
And both dads the
you
whole
know?
time were like these caricature, like,
Yeah.
it's like, what are you? Are you not a father?
Yeah.
Be a father.
Like Father of the Bride.
Yeah, just be a dude.
Steve Martin plays a perfect father.
You can even
in that
be an
movie.
unhinged crazy person like Meet the Focker or Meet the Parents. He's
Yeah.
still like a normal, like he's eccentric, but he's not like just crazy. Like what did the guy say when he was trying to learn to dive and he's saying he's telling this Paris story about jumping off a fucking train and he's like, that's what you'll do for love. And the whole time I'm like, did I just drop acid? Like, what is happening?
I know.
And then he
none of this
tries
makes
to
any
jump
sense.
off the ledge after him.
Yeah, he's about to jump off the cliff. I'm like, we've just devolved. The movie is just devolving.
Maybe we should all try a
But it makes
psychotropic.
doesn't it make more sense if the movie was like kind of sponsored by Xanax, like a little
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like we should all like rewatch this
Klonopin?
film on a
Yeah.
psychotropic drug.
Now,
and
Gris,
just-
now my rating might change quite a bit, and I could be talked into that.
Yeah, and
Dang.
and I think I do need to point out the dog's name is Klonopin.
Yeah.
That's that. When you were saying that in the credits, I didn't know what you were talking about, or I think Ben, you pointed it out, and I was like, wait, Klonopin, sidebar, that cool.
Did y'all watch all the credits? Did you guys watch it all the way through?
I watched all the singing shit, and then I turned it
No,
off very
I
quickly.
clipped it off.
Is
pretty
there a
quick.
post-credit scene?
There was even more butt play.
Oh my god!
Seriously, there's more. She kind of like tries to kind of look.
Yes,
inside.
I did see this.
It's
yes.
very.
Oh yeah,
odd.
yeah, I saw that. That was
Yeah,
like,
that was all part of the
that was
song
part
because
of
he
the-
was
part
still
of the song,
singing.
yeah.
He's holding his crotch.
and I
he's
was
looking
thinking,
for it.
like, how are they shooting this? Right? Like, is she really like? I know he probably has some covering or whatever, but that's
Yeah.
just such an awkward.
it feels crazy awkward.
Ben, you were so right to call this bad naked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was so bad naked.
Do you guys remember seeing John Cena at the Oscars?
Mm-hmm.
Did
Oh,
you
yeah,
see?
yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you see the behind the scenes of that?
No.
So he was fully taped, like all the way up his ass crack, and
Yeah.
like it was just barely enough for him to walk and squeeze across screen to look like he was fully nude.
I remember thinking like that. Man, that guy's got a lot of nerve to do
Oh,
that.
dude, it was incredible.
That's
but
amazing.
that's I'm sure it was he was fully taped up, but still,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
can you
Yeah,
imagine?
I know.
Even if you and I are sitting out there,
the intimacy coordinator had him
Yeah.
prepared, but still, it's just weird.
it's still strange.
A lot of socks and tape.
Yeah. Ben, do they do that at weddings a lot? How you
Yeah. So I feel like this is my final hot pocket, but I feel like if, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, but guys, seriously, like I feel like if AI made a movie, this would be the movie.
I actually am. I'm on track with that.
This like in every way, like
Yeah.
the writing, the casting, the direction. It feels like almost like an alien, like came to Earth, studied movies for a few years,
Yeah.
and then shot its own movie.
That's exactly what this is.
What is this name? Gluck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Gluck.
And then all the reviewer, all the audience was clearly AI. So this is just
Right.
an AI to AI.
So Gluck is from Neptune. He came here. He learned movies, and like this is the result. Like this is like someone who's unfamiliar with human civilization but has studied movie making for a couple of years. I feel like this is kind of what would come out of that.
Yeah. They're
So,
like, if I put these elements in here, people will like it.
yeah, something like that.
it's like the movie Galaxy Quest
That's a good movie.
Oh, great.
It's a great movie.
That's a very good
But
movie.
it's just like that where they have this perception of like
Yes,
just from the
yes,
TV show.
Exactly.
You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
great
Yeah.
call out. That's
Yeah.
a great call out.
So, guys, should we do some closing thoughts here?
Yeah.
All right, I will start. Boy, I will just reiterate, so bad it's good territory for me. I actually enjoyed watching this movie. We didn't even get to all the stuff, but there was just a lot of ironic stuff that I really made me laugh hard. And actually some of the intended humor made me laugh hard. It was entertaining, but really shitty. And it's hard to reconcile that. And I defaulted to the top side of that score. You know, I could have easily given this in the 20s or even lower. But I actually just kind of enjoyed this movie because I had such low expectations going into. I think that's another part of it. So I had some fun with it. It was a shitty movie that I enjoyed.
Okay.
I got to track with that. I mean, I gave it a 43. I'm not going to change it up or down, but I have to admit that I laughed out loud at a few scenes here, and I thought they took a lot of good risks. But the more you think about it, the more insanely bad this film is. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I can't not look at this with the critical eye because it is a movie. You know, I laughed out loud at my 8-year-old son's little video he made the other day, but I wouldn't rate it a 90 out of 100 as a movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's things about the movie that it needs to hit. It doesn't hit for me. And I teased us at the beginning. It's very unrealistic. And I know movies are unrealistic, but this is just too much. It takes me out of it. Jonathan, the ex-boyfriend, he'd never still be there on the wedding day. He has zero reason to be there. The plot just needs him to be there. They don't explain that. You can never fuck around with Harbor Rescue like Ben does at the end. You can't just jump. I mean, like, this doesn't happen. The Harbor Rescue won't just come pick you up and take you where you want to go. I mean, that's just lazy writing.
I did like the crash zoom though. When they show him floating in the water, they crash zoom on him.
Oh,
yeah,
I like that.
That was
That
pretty
shot.
good.
Now we've got 3
Yeah.
good shots in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, Dutch angle, top down, crash zoom.
Yeah, there was only a few.
The
Those are
anteater.
it.
We talked about the anteater. Guys,
Oh, sorry, 4.
no character does that. No guy, no weird Aussie guy's going to come up and do an anteater to another grown man while he's taking a shower. That just doesn't happen. Dialogue, terrible dialogue. We've been through the
Teach their own.
dialogue. It's hard after watching Uncut Gems where the dialogue is so natural and organic, and coming to a movie like this where it's like fake sentence, fake sentence, fake sentence.
And I mean, to our last episode with Uncut Gems, it's like it was purposely done for that reason of the film and for the tone of it.
Yeah. When Ben is teaching B's dad how to dive, what the fuck is that conversation? I don't understand any of that. There's some weird meta we talked about. Randomly breaks the fourth wall with the diegetic sign 6 months ago, writing in the sand, writing on the wall. It's like trying to be stylized, but without any setup. It's just like, what is this?
You miss 90% of it.
Yeah, it's so strange. The end when everyone was singing the song, there's a random plane full of people singing it. A dog sings it. The dad sings it underwater. I don't get this sappy, sentimental bullshit. The writing's terrible. When they're trying to trick Ben and B by having them overhear them, it felt like a sitcom. It was very sitcom-y. I know we were talking about Much Ado About Nothing, Shakespeare play kind of deal, but like I don't give this movie that much credit. It was just terrible, terrible, bad sitcom writing. Oh gosh, the acting.
I think we got it.
No, I got
Keep
2
going,
more. I got
keep
2 more.
going,
I got
keep
2 more.
going.
Sydney Sweeney, you guys, is terrible. The parents were all super stupid. And then finally the music was, you guys, there were 23 credited songs in this movie. 23, okay? The movie is an hour and 43. So not counting the credits, that means there's literally a pop song that plays every 4.5 minutes in this movie. It's all songs they've licensed and they're bad. And it's just, the pacing's off on account of it. His Serenity song, like I said, was terrible. All these powers combined, I Am Captain Planet. This was the worst movie I've seen in a long time. So those are my closing thoughts.
Yes.
And I had all of that, and there was never a spot for me to say all of that stuff. I don't know if we need to make a different, category. But anyway, guys, there was. I guess the reason I rambled on there is because there's so much bad about this movie, and it just. I guess I've seen too many movies for this to be good. I know how good a movie can be.
Yeah, that's very fair. That is very fair. Well, it's that time again to wrap up another episode of Critical Mess, episode number 33, and we thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, wow is all
impressive.
I have to say. You are truly a treasure, and we love you. We love you very much, and we're going to do another episode. We always do. And this one is going to be we're going war. We're going for war. And we're going to discuss Enemy at the Gates.
Oh, what a palate cleanser.
Yes, it'll be a little bit of a tonal shift, I believe.
All new for me, so I am excited.
It's the one with Jude Law and Rachel Weisz. Is that how you say it? Weisz?
Weisz.
Sorry, Rachel Weisz. Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
These people.
Fucking love Ed Harris.
Harris?
Yeah, is it
Harris?
Yeah,
It's Harris.
Harris. I believe is how you
It's
say it.
Eduardo Hotties.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to watching this movie again. It's one that I think I have an opinion on, but we'll see. We'll see if that opinion holds up.
We'll see. Yeah, same for me. Yeah.
So, Gris, we are on social media. What's that?
Instagram. We'll keep it real simple. We're on Instagram at Critical Mess Crew. Find us, comment, like, follow, do all the things.
Give us reviews.
Is there a Hot Pocket emoji? If there is, please post it in your review.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
If you've listened to this episode all the way to the end, put a Hot Pocket in there, and you see one of us in the wild around Indianapolis, we will hand you a Modelo.
Yeah, that's right. I'll buy you a Modelo.
Don't put that on me.
Or at least
It's on Ben.
At least we'll give you a bite of our Hot Pocket.
Yeah, we'll always have one in our pockets, hot or
always.
cold.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been Critical Mess, episode 33. We had a lot of fun on this one. We hope you did too, and we will catch you on the next one.
Later.
See ya.